My name is Steve Linhart. I'm the Dean of Students at UCCS.
I'm Stephanie Hannenberg, the Executive Director of Health Services on campus.
And we're going to be moderating, we're going to emceeing the Spring 2016 SGA debate. So thank you so much for being here. Our media panel, our candidates, our students, SGA, Sabrina from SGA, thank you all for being here. We're going to explain the format here in a minute, but there should be time during each candidate session for students in the audience to ask a question. But the first questions will be from the media panel. But then there should be time for you all to also ask questions. And then that whole procedure is going to be explained.
So on our media panel this evening, we have Kyle Boyle, the UCCS radio manager. We have Evan Music, Scribes News editor. And we have Jonathan, is it Toman? Toman.
That sounds good.
I know, I'm trying to make everybody sound Toman. The Scribe editor-in-chief.
So for the outline of this evening, we're going to start with the president and vice president debate. Then we're going to move into the director of finance debate. Then we're going to have about a 30-minute intermission where there's going to be pizza and drinks. And then after the intermission, then we're going to move on to the senators. Okay? So I think with that, we'll start with the vice president and president debate. So if you guys want us to get started.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Get up all four. Everything's against you.
Sure. We did.
Everybody good? Can everybody hear me? Maybe? Kind of, sort of? Okay, fantastic. So real quick, how this is going to work, we're going to go through 6 general questions that will be addressed to all of you, and each of you will get 2 minutes to respond as a pair. And then after that, we'll move into specific questions for each of your candidacies. Does that work for you guys? Make sense? Okay, we'll just kind of, you guys can stay where you are, and then we'll alternate who starts with answering the question. Okay, cool. So we'll start real quick. Please outline the platform that your team is running on, and be specific with how you plan to achieve your goals in the coming year. We'll start on the far left and work our way that way. And sorry, introduce yourselves before you answer the questions.
Hi, my name's Steve Bates, and this is Ryan Schulman. We're running for president and vice president. So our platform is based on a few things: better parking, cheaper food, and other things around campus.
And less monopolistic food as well.
Yeah, we'd like to see, clubs be able to use other outside sources other than catering, for example. We'd like to see this become more of a student union building, and this area specifically to be more of a center for like student activities and stuff. And there's a couple of ways we plan to achieve that. So for parking, I'll let Brian speak to that.
So I'll give you a quick overview of parking. Basically, if you do the math and the numbers of how quickly the school is growing, building parking lots isn't going to work because we're going to lose the numbers of how many parking spots we're going to need to build and how many we'll need to build for the incoming students. So instead, we would like to improve the way we park on campus as an efficiency standpoint, which is something I'll go into. Hopefully, I'll have time to go into later based on their questions, but I don't want to waste all of our introduction with it. But in addition to parking, the student union is something that me and Steve talked about a lot, where we would really like to see this building be a place where we can have more fun and where we have more food options. I know people who have told me I've had every dish at Cafe 65, and I'd really like to see outside vendors coming in. I don't know, some people have said Subway for whatever reason, some people have said other places, but that's something that I think that that's change that everybody wants to see from what I've heard.
More student, this is a place for the students,
Fantastic, thank you all. Okay, I forgot to mention, we have 2-minute time limits on these answers.
We were waiting for time from you, we didn't know.
Yeah, you're good, you're under time, so fantastic. Yeah, same question. And please introduce yourself.
Take this off.
Feel the pain.
I think switch.
Yeah, I can take this one off, Brian. There you go.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Tam, and I am running for Student Body Vice President.
And my name is Sam Elliott, and I am running for Student Body President. Our platform is based upon the 3 biggest problems that we found here on campus by polling the students. We don't have our own personal agenda. Our agenda is based upon what the students have told us and what they are telling us. Number 1 is parking. 2, community events and creating more of a community here on campus. And 3 is more internships, high-paying part-time jobs, and full-time jobs upon graduation. And I'd first like to address parking, because there's no question that parking is the largest problem on our campus. The thing is as of last Wednesday, not a single candidate has actually talked to the parking office. And what's unfortunate is there's already students solving the parking issue here on campus. This isn't something that the president or vice president are going to be able to solve themselves. The job of the president or vice president is going to be supporting the student team, which is called LotSpot, which is currently under contract with UCCS and the City of Manitou Springs. As we speak, they're beta testing in the UCCS parking garage so that they can tell students how full each lot is, so students know which lot is actually worth their time to go and look at it now. And that's a big thing to address, because it's very important to look into the issues and who's trying to solve the issues that you say that you're also going to solve. And then Tam's going to speak on community events and internships.
The rest of our platform is really based on community. For community events and internships, it's the same thing. For us, excuse me, for us to be able to build the community on UCCS, we need to make sure that people know about the really cool things that are going on. People know about the UC. People know about the SGA hosting events. And they're able to come here and they're able to feel like a community when they're here rather than, you know, kind of just coming for free food.
Stop, thank you.
We don't get like a 1 minute or anything? Okay.
2 minutes, it's quick. You guys have enough.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Ebron, and I'm running for Student Government President.
And I'm Eric Newton, running for Student Body Vice President.
And our major platform and the body that we have for our campaign is regarding 3 major factors that we found within the UCCS student community. And the first will be essentially having transparency within student government. The second will be building community within ourselves and among the outside community of the university, because we do have a lack of that support within our university when it comes to sports and other events as well. And the final thing is going to be structural changes within student government. In order to have a great, strong foundation for our leaders throughout school, we want to make sure that the heart of student government is very sound. And of course, we want to emphasize student in student government associations so that we are here for the students.
And just to touch up on that, really when it boils down to it, us as a team, we want to cultivate a student government that is ready and provides many opportunities for students to voice their opinions, issues, concerns on campus, and have an SGA that is not only willing, but is highly able to appropriate to those needs and solve those needs of the students.
It's very important to remember how critical it is for the students to know about student government organizations, and when you go and continue to ask around, it's very common that students don't even know how quick we are to be a resource for these students. So it's really important that we just get the knowledge out there to our students of UCCS, that our resources are available to them and that they are able to make changes throughout campus with our help and even along themselves. I think that about wraps it up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Audrey, and I'm running for Student Body Vice President.
And my name is Travis Tafoya. I'm running for Student Body President, and I am currently the Vice President of Student Government. Our platform is threefold, so we plan on having more student involvement with student government, and not just getting our name out there through the PR committee and through our outreach to students, but more of getting surveys out to students. So following other campuses and their models, such as CU Denver, and sending out surveys to the students to find out what the issues are on their level and being more proactive rather than reactive when a student has to come to us and tell us what the problem is. We're going to reach out to them better.
Our second one is in regards to the athletic bill that's already on the ballot. We want to show our support for all athletics, and we really do want them to know that we're here for them as well as student government.
So with the athletics, the big thing is these programs are coming to campus. The athletic programs are already coming, and we want to prove to the student body that we're going to support what they push through. So if these fees go through with the University Center and with athletics, which we both want them to, we're going to make sure that students have their voice as these fees progress. That's a huge part of what we want to do. The last thing about our platform is pushing student involvement on campus, and a big part of that comes from creating a media fee into the student activity fee, which students already pay into. That way, the media is unbiased from the governing body of the students, as well as providing more funding for clubs, organizations, and the departments that student government funds as a whole.
Thanks. Okay, we'll move on to the next question, which will be from Kyle, and this time we'll start with Sandy.
Alrighty, this next question is specifically for our vice president candidates. So if you guys want to step up to the mics when you're ready. Many of your campaigns have used involvement as a buzzword for your plans. It's a very broad term, and by itself it doesn't mean a whole lot. What does involvement specifically look like to you, and how do you plan on creating more of it?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Absolutely.
Are you referring to involvement as a whole or involvement specifically on campus?
How do you interpret it? What is the bigger priority for your campaign?
Okay. The bigger priority for our campaign is involvement as a whole. Not only would we like to get students here, get them involved, meaning get the community going and make it closer, we'd also like to connect that community with Colorado Springs community. There's a lot of people in the Colorado Springs community that are really passionate about UCCS. They're investors, they're people who want to be mentors, there's people who want to take time to get to know us so they can come alongside us and help us. And involvement really boils down to them being a part of our lives, us being a part of theirs, which we can't do without building this community at UCCS first. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi again, everybody. Eric Knudsen, running for Student Body Vice President. So involvement is something that we take very seriously. McKinley and I are both senators this year, and we've definitely seen how much SGA needs to be more involved with students, specifically clubs, organizations, and sport teams. Something we're going to do is monthly reports, and that'll be something that we'll send out to every student that informs them on budgets of the different committees, the senator reports, and many other things. And then we're also going to be doing semester forums where we want to have as many students, faculty, administration present at, where we can talk about the health of SGA, the trends that we're seeing, the strengths we're seeing, the weaknesses we're experiencing, and how we're going to address those the next semester. We're also going to have outreach. Outreach is something we want to have focus groups on. We want to have polls. We want to do a lot of things that we get specific input directly from students and student leaders on campus. That way we can feed those directly into the Senate and Judicial Board, and we can better serve straight to those needs. We also want to do a lot of community involvement. Something we're aspiring to do is to have every SGA member complete community service projects within the community of Colorado Springs. That way we, as a university, specifically student government members, are serving our larger city as a whole. We also want to engage local high school student governments, seeing what they're up to, what they're interested in, if there's anything we can do to help them, and also inviting them out to our own meetings so they can get more interest in collegiate level student governments. Thank you.
In the interest of time, we better hold applause till the end of the question after all four of them have gone. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so involvement to me would be specifically with students. I think there's a big issue right now between the student government and clubs and organizations. There's like there's a communication gap. A lot of clubs and organizations on campus don't know that they can utilize SGA funding, specifically like the lower end clubs. I know I used to be on a club sport team. We didn't know that we could use SGA funding. I'm also a part of a larger organization now who has utilized SGA funding for philanthropic events and such. We also want to involve students using our marketing strategy. So the plan we talked about earlier, getting our SGA's name out there. We really do want to get that feedback from students, using those polls, having events, whether it's in here or in a different area, where students can come and actually tell us what they want to see, what they want us to change, and stuff like that.
So my idea for what involvement is on this campus is twofold. The first is that SGA should communicate better with students, but they should leverage the resources they already have. I work as a web developer for Student Life right now, and part of what I've been doing already to improve SGA involvement with students on campus is that we've been remaking the SGA website, and the new website will have things like what happened at the last meeting, what are we talking about at the next meeting, how much of the budget is left, where is the budget going, things of that nature, because students need to know that in order to do a better job with coming to SGA and saying what they want. Because students aren't going to be able to come here and say what they want, or they'll feel stupid if they come here and say that if it's already going on, and then they just find out, oh, I don't need to do anything. The other thing that I think is important with involvement on this campus is that right now, this campus is known to everyone as a big commuter campus, and I think that wall needs to come down. And me and Steve, our idea together has been that, again, this office and this building as a whole should be much more of a community center or student union where there are things that students can do to get together and have a good time between classes and to keep people here, even when they live off campus, so that we can all come together as a bigger community and not just come and go and that's it. So, thank you.
Now would be a good time for that applause. The next question is going to come from Evan, and we'll start with Mackenzie then.
All right, so this next question is actually for both candidates, so think through that as you start to calculate how you're going to answer. But this has to do with fees. In addition to the SGA candidate races, there are 2 fee increases on the ballot in 2 weeks. The first proposes the elimination of the sunset of the University Center bond fee, continuing that fee. The second is an athletic fee increase. What is your team's stance on these 2 issues before the students and why?
All right, Mike Hippia, like he said, running for president, student government. With regards to athletics, my freshman year, I definitely joined the track team, and it was an amazing experience. And knowing how it is to run outside in the freezing cold when we don't have our own facilities or have to travel to our own practices was a very difficult endeavor. So I definitely can relate when it comes to the athletic fee and how important it is to have our UCC athletics. And that really ties into the community that we hope to build, not only within the school, but also throughout Colorado Springs. I think it's important that the people of Colorado Springs really continue to support UCCS and really become engaged in the athletics that we have. And I think this bill that we have upcoming will really help emphasize the importance of our athletics and really build our school spirit, which I think can really be increased, definitely. And I think that would be a really big help.
Eric Davidson again, running for student body vice president. As far as the University Center sunset fee that we're trying to eliminate, that would occur in 2026 or 2025, I believe. What means is that a $4.50 fee that every student pays right now per credit hour, that funds a lot of things such as student life and leadership, event services, a lot of the programming, basically every salary of many people who work in this office. And I do highly advocate for that to pass, meaning that sunset clause of that fee disappears, effectively meaning students will continue to pay that in about 10 years from now. Because without that, a lot of the things that UCCS functions on, like event services, student life and leadership, a lot of the events that we have, like significant speakers, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, Sarah Zuckerberg, all those people wouldn't be able to happen again in 10 years from now with that fee going away. So I'm a strong advocate for students to continue paying that fee, seeing that it doesn't increases and it brings high benefits to the student body.
Both of these bills are very much tied back into student inclusiveness, which we highly advocate for and really hope to increase throughout the school. Thank you.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the athletic fee is helping support the field aspect of our track and field, which we currently have a baseball team and a women's lacrosse team, and also a new facility for athletics in general. So our standpoint is that the new facility will create new student jobs, new student employment, which is pretty minimal right now. As we grow, we need to look for more of that, as well as it really, with the Colorado Springs becoming the city of champions and their goal for that, it really does help support that from a school standpoint. They are seeing that we are creating students that are passionate about athletics as well. They create jobs for us and moving on through their lives as well.
So our campaign is in full support of both of these bills. Like she said, with the athletic bill, creates a lot of student engagement on campus, drives it drives enrollment up. The more athletic programs we have here, the more students we have coming to this campus. We have almost 100 new students coming for the track program already coming because this program was guaranteed. So that's huge. The University Center, just so you guys know, was incorrectly budgeted, and with that sunset fee, in 2026, the university will owe a $395,000 bond payment that we are not budgeted for. So if this doesn't pass this year, we're going to see immediate cuts this upcoming year to the budgets that we see from student life, from event services, from the facilities in this building, to the programming that we all enjoy. So we talk a lot about student involvement, and we're going to lose that if this does not go through, if both of them don't go through.
All right, so as an employee of both student life and leadership and athletics, obviously we're both, he's not an athletics employee, but I am, but we're both student life employees, and we both strongly advocate for both of those. I think for athletics it's really important that we fund it anyways because these programs have already been promised to the people who are coming here. We've already hired a baseball coach, we've already signed all these athletes. So, I think as students, it's our responsibility to give those people the best program that they can have. Just likewise, everybody else is paying for you guys to have the best things that you can have at this school. So that's, my position on that.
As far as the sunset fee goes, thankfully my opponents were very knowledgeable about this as well, so there's not a lot left for me to say that they haven't said. But what I can tell you is that it is important, both that it continues for its extra year and goes on into the future. Again, for one thing,